Welcome to the Sleep to Dream Analytics Explainer video, where better sleep starts with better understanding. Have you ever woken up from a dream and just thought, what in the world was that? Of course you have. We all have. But what if those wild, bizarre stories aren't just random brain static? What if they're actually a kind of nightly rehearsal, your brain's way of getting you ready for the future? Well, today we are diving deep into the new science of what your brain is really doing while you sleep. Okay, let's get into it. I mean, think about it. How can you feel absolute terror from a shadow in a corner, or this incredible soaring joy just from flying over your neighborhood, all while you completely accept that, your cat is giving you financial advice? Well, the answer isn't random. It's actually a very specific and kind of brilliant state of your brain. And we've all had these, right? That heart-pounding feeling of being chased, the unbelievable freedom of flying. Or, oh my gosh, that classic anxiety dream where you're back in school and you have a final exam you never even studied for. These aren't just weird coincidences. They are super common themes that actually give us clues into what our brain is up to all night long. Okay, so let's get right to the big question. The main reason your dreams are so incredibly weird boils down to this. During REM sleep, when you have your most vivid dreams, your brain basically divides its staff. Some parts are working overtime. And others, well, they've completely clocked out for the night. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Look at this comparison. On one side, the parts of your brain that are switched on, they are firing on all cylinders. You've got your amygdala, the emotion dial, cranked up to 11. The limbic system, your memory and feeling center, is hyperactive. But then look at the other side. The parts that are turned way down are your centers for logic, for impulse control, and for self-awareness. Your brain's logic checker, it is completely offline. So what you end up with is this really unique state where you have super intense emotions, but almost zero rational thought. And that's the magic formula right there. It's why you can feel overwhelming joy or fear and totally accept that you're breathing underwater or talking to Abraham Lincoln without your brain ever once saying, hey, wait a second, this makes no sense. But that just explains the weirdness. What about the story? Why do dreams always feel like they're going somewhere? Why are we always moving, searching, exploring? Well, that brings us to the engine that's driving the whole thing. Neuroscientists have this amazing name for it, the seeking system. This is one of the most basic, powerful circuits in your brain. It's fueled by dopamine, and its whole job is to make us feel curious, interested, and expectant. During the day, it's what gets you off the couch to explore the world. But at night, it becomes the motor of your dream, constantly pushing the narrative forward, making you wonder what's around the next corner. And we're not just guessing about this. The science is really solid here. We know from clinical studies that if this dopamine circuit gets damaged, a person can completely stop dreaming, even though they still have REM sleep. On the flip side, drugs that block dopamine tend to reduce dreaming, while drugs that boost dopamine can send people into hyper-vivid, intense dream worlds. It's a direct link. Okay, so let's recap. We've got a brain that's highly emotional, not very logical, and is being pushed forward by this powerful, curious seeking system. Which leads us to the biggest question of all. What's the point? What is your brain actually trying to do all night? Is it all just for fun? Well, science says a definite no. Your brain is hard at work. And this is where things get really cool. It turns out that dreaming isn't just meaningless mental chatter. It seems to have several incredibly important functions that are absolutely vital for our waking lives. Think of it like your brain is running its own secret, overnight maintenance and rehearsal program. Let's look at 3 of its most important gigs. First up, emotional regulation. You could almost think of dreaming as a form of overnight therapy. By reliving and processing emotions, even the tough ones like fear or grief, in the totally safe virtual world of a dream, your brain takes the sharp, painful edges off of them. It helps you file them away properly so you can start the next day with a cleaner emotional slate. Building right on top of that is something called threat simulation theory. And this idea is amazing. It suggests that our dreams are basically an ancient, built-in virtual reality simulator. Your brain cooks up threatening situations, like being chased or getting into a fight, so that you can practice your escape routes and sharpen your survival instincts without any real-world risk. It's a way to train for danger, every single night. But it's not all about fear and emotion. The third big job is about learning and solving problems. And this is backed up by some incredible research. As this major study points out, when we dream about something we're trying to learn, our brain isn't just hitting replay. It's actively strengthening those memories and actually improving our ability to do that task later on. And if you want some hard numbers, get a load of this. In one study, researchers had people work on tricky anagram puzzles. The people they woke up out of REM sleep, the deep, dreaming sleep, had a 32% advantage at solving the puzzles compared to people woken from non-dreaming sleep. That's not a small bump. That is a massive cognitive upgrade delivered overnight by your dreams. So how on earth does it do that? Well, during REM sleep, your brain goes into what scientists call a hyperassociative state. Since that logical part of your brain is taking a nap, your mind is free to make these wild, unexpected connections between ideas that you would never put together when you're awake. This is what makes dreams so bizarre, but it's also an incredibly powerful engine for creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. Which brings us to our final section, where we tie all of this together. So when you look at all these pieces, the emotional processing, the threat simulation, the creative problem solving, a really clear and beautiful picture starts to emerge. Dreaming isn't some passive throwaway experience. It is an active, purposeful rehearsal for your life. Every single night, your brain is running these simulations. It's working through your emotions to keep you balanced. It's practicing skills, everything from running away from danger to solving a puzzle you're stuck on. And it's creating these novel connections to spark your creativity. It is preparing you for your world on every possible level. And this, right here, is probably the most important takeaway. Your dreams almost never show you an exact carbon copy of something that happened. Instead, your brain acts like a DJ, taking bits and pieces of your memories and experiences and remixing them into something totally new. It's a forward-looking process designed to prepare you not for the past, but for all the possible futures that might be coming your way. So the next time you wake up from a really weird dream, don't just dismiss it. Take a second and ask yourself, if this was a rehearsal, what part was my brain trying to practice? What skills was it hoping to sharpen? It's a pretty incredible question to sleep on. Thank you for watching the Sleep to Dream Analytics Explainer video. We hope you sleep well and dream easy.